Well, welcome. I'm Ken Piddington, Vice President and CIO at US Silica and an officer of the Quest Board of Directors. Who's excited to be back here at an in-person event? We are too, and it's great to see so many faces here, some familiar and others I'll get to know soon over these next few days. So today's presentation, as we're excited here at BLUEPRINT4D's inaugural event, to open today's J.D. Edwards keynote. The keynote's about how your organizations have embraced innovation that automates and optimizes and transforms business processes. How digital helps customers transform business for a future based on intelligent ERP. Sounds pretty exciting to me. So please welcome Oracle Group Vice President of Applications Development, Gary Grieshaber. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. Welcome to BLUEPRINT4D. It's great to be here. So great to be here in person with all of you, and with all of you virtually. Let's, we are live streaming this event today. So let's give a big wave to everybody out there in radio land out there. So, I've always been a big believer in the collective intellect, the collective brain power of the broader community, and bringing our customers together with our partners, with the Oracle team, live and virtually. It really just expands our ability to communicate with you and engage you all in the conversation. So I'm really excited about that. It's been a tough couple of years. I'm sure we can all take a moment just to recognize that for at work, with our families, just life in general. I mean, I think we all have gone through some level of hardship. But again, as a community, it's amazing how we rallied together, persevered. I like to use the word that we're a resilient community, that we've continued to execute, deliver our projects. I've talked to a lot of you. Your companies have grown over this last couple of years, and it's just amazing to me. But that didn't come easy. That was something we had to adapt to. We had to embrace an event like this where we're in a hybrid world, where we have people in person. We want to make sure that those dialing in virtually have an equal voice. That's something that we did in our development team. I'm really excited about is that we got stronger in a way, in that everyone participating in a meeting, something as simple as a meeting, had an equal voice. It wasn't just the people that were present, on the phone. Everybody was on equal footing, and we've really done amazing. So that resiliency is something that I'm super proud of for all of us, and really excited to be here with you today and share with you some really exciting things happening in the J.D. Edwards world. So with that, I'd like to introduce our Vice President of Product Development, Paul Houtkooper. Hey, Paul, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Gary?
Great.
Good to see you.
I see you got the memo of the casual dress this week.
Well, I might have misinterpreted it or interpreted it slightly differently than you did, but we do have the beach theme. We got the wave theme, so I thought I would embrace it. So.
Okay, great. So.
Welcome, everybody. Oh, wow. So many familiar faces.
Yeah.
I would like to thank Quest right off the bat for organizing such a great event. What's no doubt going to be a stellar event, and I'm sure we're going to remember this one for years to come as we all get back together for the first time in the last couple of years. We can meet in these big, large groups like this, right? And then they've also got some smaller group sessions like our education sessions that you guys will all be going to. And then, as Gary said multiple times, we've got everybody attending virtually as well. So doing this hybrid event, thank you, Quest, for putting this on. Don't forget the networking zone. as well as meet the experts. I've got several folks from the product team again here this year, so make your way over to the exhibitor hall and by all means, engage with those guys and ask your questions, find out, more details about what's going on. Thank you to all the Oracle partners. I know we had a quick chat this morning. I want to take the opportunity now to thank you all for your sponsorship for this event this week and for everything that you guys do for the entire J.D. Edwards community. It's pretty awesome, and we wouldn't be here without you guys as well. So, Gary, what do you think about our opening video? You think that might have spiked anybody's interest?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope you got the theme of today's presentation. And so our metaphor that we chose for this presentation is a theme of waves of innovation. If we've all been around technology for a while, and we know that new technology comes rapidly. It's continuous. It keeps coming. It's rapid, and it can be disruptive. Deciding which ones to pick, which waves to ride, if you will, is a difficult challenge, both for us, what to build into the product, and for you, what to put into practice to help improve your business outcomes. But I'm here to say that J.D. Edwards has stood the test of time. If you look at how we've ridden these waves through the years, from just a basic transactional system, internet days, to more of an open standards wave, cloud world, digital technologies. We've embraced that, and that's our plan in a nutshell, is to continue to ride these waves, pick the right ones that are most relevant for our products and for your businesses, build those into the product so you can take advantage of that and improve your business. But before we get into the waves and the themes and our strategy, let's catch up a little bit on what we've done over the last couple years.
So first of all, who knew? J.D. Edwards turned 45 this year, right? Yeah, quite a few, yeah. Awesome. So yeah, why don't we all round of applause. Happy birthday, J.D. Edwards. Oracle did as well. Apparently we're all the same age. So that's 45 years of innovation coming your way, and hopefully you guys have been able to benefit from obviously our continuous innovation on this continuous code line that we currently have with 9.2. We'll talk a lot more about what's been coming out with that, some of the cumulative value and whatnot, and then obviously what we're going to be doing going forward. And again, round of applause. J.D. Edwards, 45. What a great way to bring in year 45 here at BLUEPRINT4D. So.
Okay. So we have some waves coming in here. We have some great animation here. 2028, 2029, 2030. Does anyone know what this is representing? I hope you do, because it's a big focus, of a lot of attention, from our customers and our partners. And just recently we announced the extension of support again for the 5th or 6th time to at least 2033. And I think Paul was telling me about a quote. He's a well-read man, well-dressed as well here. But he said, a quote from Tom Siebel is, one of the most important skills in business is pattern recognition. So I think you see a pattern here. And that pattern is our 10-year rolling commitment to premier support. Not just support, bug fixes, leg regs, maintenance, but also to innovation. And so that's Oracle's commitment to J.D. Edwards customers and to other on-premise products. So I would say, this is important, and our plan is to continue to do this every year. Make an announcement about it. You'll see it on social media. You'll see it at these events. But my advice is focus on what we're delivering. Take a look at, in the product catalog, what are the new features? What are the capabilities? Sessions like this, sessions like Jeff and Keith's roadmap, some more the details. You get more of the specifics at that point. So what else did we do during the pandemic? Well, we did a lot. We've continued to deliver. Again, I call my team just so resilient and how they adopted to this work-at-home model. We didn't miss a beat. We didn't miss a single release delivery. Quality software continuing to go out the door. But Paul, why don't you fill in some blanks here on what we've done?
Yeah, well, to your point, I mean, for the last couple of years, it may come as a surprise or it may not. I mean, you guys have been used to us delivering on a continuous basis now, and we've actually had 9 releases in that 2-year span and over 286 features, right, with supporting doc. Right, we do Oracle by examples, we do quick tours, we do tutorials. We post them all out on Learn JDE so you can understand, the value of what we're delivering and also give you some insight into, how to actually implement it and as well as use it. So, to Gary, your point that word resiliency, the team has been amazing over the last few years as we made that transition to, working remotely but continuing to deliver, not missing a beat. And so have customers. Right? I mean, in this time period, everybody's gone through their ups and downs, right? There's been a lot of business pressures, but you guys stuck to your schedules, right? We could have expected a lot of customers to delay and defer or to sit tight, but instead, we saw many stick to their plans, some of them even accelerated, and so we have over 320 plus go lives and upgrades that happened in this time period, but that's just what we hear about, right? When you call up support and you let John Green and his team know about your upcoming go live or your upcoming upgrade, that's how we know, that's what we record. So this number is probably on the lower side of what really happened out there. But yeah, it definitely reflects the fact that you guys stayed with us and continued to move with us. Now the other thing that you did, and it was great to see, is many took advantage of the fact that there was some downtime perhaps. Maybe there weren't as many people on the system. So what did they do? They got to 9.2. Right, and now we have over 86% of our install base on 9.2, and then some got out of the data center business as well. As you want to enable your remote staff, they migrated JD Edwards up into OCI, and now we have over 200 customers running in OCI. So, when you look at 9.2, you look at release 22, and you see, now what, less than 15% on back releases. Gary, what would you say? I mean, we talk about the adoption curve all the time, so where would that put us?
Yeah, not to put guilt trip anyone, but we're officially in the late majority, maybe even entering the laggard market for moving to 9.2, and that's something that we're really excited about, to see so many of our customers adopting 9.2, staying current, and taking advantage of what we're putting into the product.
So if, for those of you out there, again, not to dog too much, but at the end of the day, if you were worried about being first on 9.2, it's probably safe to say you're not.
You're not going to be first.
All right? So you can relax, rest assured, you're not first. Going on to Orchestrator. As of last week, we had, we noted over 712 customers now leveraging Orchestrator. And again, through the pandemic, battling the pressures, whether it's supply chain disruptions or just interruptions to your business, many found the benefit of leveraging Orchestrator in various ways. Some used it to enable their mobilize their field service. Some enabled it to develop, faster integrations, time to value. They condensed that time frame. And others used it for things like streamlining the shop floor, operations. So maybe they created their own mini super backflush, if you will, using Orchestrator. And as soon as you ship the product, then you actually complete it, you issue, you do the hours and quantities and whatnot. But just various ways, of course, to eliminate any sort of redundancy, cut down on the number of clicks, and make their staff more efficient. So if you guys are on 9.2 and you're not using Orchestrator yet, if you haven't tapped into that, please go over to Meet the Experts, see Aaron, see Hyann, see AJ, talk to them about what's going on in that area. And the other point that I would make there is back to that whole adoption curve. While we say we're in the late majority when it comes to 9.2, I'd say with Orchestrator we're at the early majority phase, right? We're a long way from that wave cresting, so to speak. So by all means, jump on it now. So One final note, the 2,500 plus customer and partner interactions. I think, many may have expected, hey, we all went remote, right? We all went work from home. And that would have maybe adversely impacted our reach. But instead, incredibly, in this last 2 years, we've actually increased our reach to the ecosystem, right? In large part, thanks to Quest for, organizing our virtual events, helping us transition from in-person to online, but also to our partners and our customers for continuing to organize the regional events that you guys did and giving us the opportunity, to leverage technology like Zoom and come to you wherever you were working and still interact with you and hear what you guys are doing and showing you the innovation that we keep on bringing. So, we've been riding this barrel, so to speak, through the pandemic, and we rode it pretty strong. So, by all means, there's always room up front.
Yeah, please.
Always room up front.
Yep. All right. Well, something else that we did over the last couple of years, hopefully you took note of this, is that we rebranded J.D. Edwards. So we went from J.D. Edwards 9.2.4.3, for example, to a model year annual release branding. And there's a reason we did this. Underneath the covers, we're still 9.2 apps, we're still ESUs, tools, updates, etc. But we rebranded this in our messaging, and we did it to reflect the level of innovation that we're putting in the product. When you think about 9.4.5.2, you think about a maintenance release. You think about little bug fixes here and there. We went to this branding to reflect the level of innovation. So we have this model year convention. You'll continue to see this annually with our annual updates. Again, pattern matching is a very important skill. You'll see these annual updates that we deliver in addition to the quarterly updates. And Release 22 encompasses all the innovation we're putting across the business processes and the digital platform and all these technology advancements. So another thing we did longer than a couple years ago, we moved to this continuous innovation model. And we talk a lot about continuous innovation. We went to this model over 5 years ago. Really, it encompasses quarterly releases plus an annual update on the 9.2 code line. So you adopt new capabilities. This has always been our advice. Adopt new capabilities as it makes sense to your business, not because of a support policy, forcing you to do so. So, so these quarterly releases, they may seem small. Every quarter, you may see a little enhancement, maybe a little new feature to orchestrate or a little new feature to the warehouse process or whatnot. But when you add them all up and you look at, see the forest from the trees, they add up and you see the overall value. So let's talk a little bit about what that looks like. Examples for the cumulative value. We improved a lot of our different business processes through this cumulative value. Through these, every quarter, every couple of quarters, enhancing it, So for example, in our area of supplier discount automation, we added features like item filtering, automatically capturing the discount when you enter a PO, basket level discounts. You add up those and a number of other capabilities, you can see the cumulative value and how that can really fundamentally change that business process. Similarly, in the warehousing area, a number of things in picking up optimizations. License plate commitments, swaps, help reduce traffic around the warehouse. And then in requirements planning, a lot of improvements in that area as well, like the graphical calendar with drag and drop capability to manage your workloads. New apps, new forms for planners to more easily analyze and manage the messages that come in from the runs, from the requirements planning runs. So you can see we're going to continue to do this. This is a key part of our value proposition at our application level. So we've been riding the digital wave. You've heard a lot about our digital technologies, Orchestrator, workflow, what we're doing with mobile, IoT, a lot of different technologies, all encompassing this big wave that we call the digital wave. And we've ridden that through the years, for 45 years, gone from green screens to where we are today. I don't think our founding fathers 45 years ago would even recognize J.D. Edwards today. It's evolved, to that level. And my message is the J.D. Edwards platform has stood the test of time. We've evolved through all these disruptions and challenging waves. So let's take a look really quickly at what we offer today in our digital platform, because it's evolved a lot. And even if you're only like maybe a year behind on our releases, take a look and look at some of the new capabilities, and again, adopt those as it makes sense for your business. So, digital wave, it included a lot of technologies, low code, no code capabilities, like form extensibility. A lot of the things we're putting into UX1. It included a lot of process automation. And Orchestrator has gone from a simple REST-enabled way of accessing J.D. Edwards logic and data to an incredibly powerful set of capabilities, including workflow. Makes things like integration and extensibility easier, so you can extend capabilities without customization. Overall, our goal with this whole digital wave is to enable our products that we deliver, plus you as customers and partners, to remove friction, to help automate processes, help remove manual steps, reduce costs, and help you improve your decision making. That's the whole idea of digital wave. It's designed to be future-proof, right? It's a design. You'll see in a moment an example of an emerging technology that we didn't even think of when we built the digital platform, but it helps address new and emerging technologies. So use cases that we know about, anticipate, as well as other emerging ones. So it's just amazing, what you have all done with the tools we provided. I think Paul quoted something over 700 customers that we know of that are using Orchestrator. I believe that's probably from who's calling into support, asking us questions, but probably a lot more when you filter that out. So with that, let's Paul and I will take a step aside here for a moment, and let's hear about a couple of those customer successes. So with that, I would like to re-welcome our first customer speaker, Ken Piddington, the CIO at US Silica and board member for Quest.
All right,
Ken, how are you?
Very
good to see you. It's been a while.
It has. Just a few minutes.
Yeah. So we'll just do a quick little interview style here, and why don't you I know you've done a lot of great things with the digital platform, but first of all, why is it important for customers to have a digital strategy?
Yeah, I think it's just so critical. I mean, granted, we hear digital is kind of a buzzword these days, but when you really think about it, to me, it takes on two components. What do we do internally, what do we do externally? But it's about keeping your business alive, staying relevant, gaining competitive advantage, helping your people operate differently, retaining and attracting customers, and retaining and attracting talent. I think it's just absolutely critical because we have to do business differently in this new world, and the technology is enabling it. And I think those that don't have a executable digital strategy are going to fall well behind their competitors.
Okay, great. So what's the focus of your digital strategy?
Well, it's got two parts. There's internal and external. And we think about the internal side, it's changing how our people work. It's the automation. It's really looking at those deep processes and making people work differently. It could be natural language processing. It's the analytics internally to make better decisions. And then we look externally, which some always say is the real sexy part, where we get to engage the customers or suppliers differently. It's about integration. It's about value-added services that enable our business to attract our customers, do better with our suppliers, in ways that take maybe price out of the conversation somewhat, because we're creating a way to do business with us better. And that's what we found that to be a real opportunity.
Okay, great. Yeah, you said a word, my ears perked up, data.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we've always felt like, we have so much data in the J.D. Edwards system, so much historical data that, we use it, but is it somewhat unharnessed? So how does data intelligence support this whole digital strategy in your vision?
Yeah, data intelligence is what we refer to as our opportunity to really make the business more data-driven. We're bringing all the various systems. Our J.D. Edwards is the primary source of that, along with all the different ancillary things, into what we call it a warehouse or a lake, but it's that data repository. It's that single version of the truth, adding on the capabilities to do the analysis, predictive, the visualizations, the dashboard, the report, all the stuff that we need in order to have greater visibility into our business. I often refer to it as we think about financials, we're kind of looking out the rearview mirror. This gives us ability to look out the front window and see where we're going, figure out, are we turning left or right, and make the right decisions for our organization. That's been a big push since I've been at US Silicon for 3 years now, to really give ourselves an intelligent enterprise around the data, bringing everything we have together under kind of one roof, where we can really create some good actionable insights for our people.
Okay, fantastic. Wow. And so finally, my last question for you is the cloud. What role does that play in your transformation, your digital strategy?
Yeah, definitely plays a big role. In fact, I love crazy socks. I have cloud socks on today. I thought that would be appropriate. It's really an enabler for what we do. It helps us go faster, helps us be more agile. We got to think about that hybrid model. Yes, we have some things on-prem. We have stuff at OCI. We're all over the place, as well as your traditional SaaS application. But it's critical for the speed. And then it's also critical for the flexibility, variability of the business, that what our needs are. We're a mining and processing logistics company. We've got a big oil and gas segment and then another industrial piece of our business. And oil and gas is very up and down. Great right now with crude over $100. But with that up and down, that variability, giving us opportunities to leverage the cloud more, lets us be more flexible, turn things up and down as our business needs to.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ken.
All right, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Welcome her up. Okay.
All right, well, up next, we have Ford MeterBox. They were very quick to embrace our digital platform, and so please welcome Cheryl Working on stage from Ford MeterBox. Hello, Cheryl, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Uh-oh.
Now?
Now, there we go. All
Thanks,
right.
Paul.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your digital adoption at Ford MeterBox?
Yeah, Ford MeterBox has recently, the last 5 years, really embraced the digital platform. We use orchestrations extensively to collect data all over our manufacturing facility. We use mobile. We have a mobile sales force, mobility to keep them connected. Mm-hmm. And it's something that lets us minimize human interaction and hence human mistakes, gives us some stability and a lot of data integrity.
Yeah, nice. Good deal. Leveraging obviously the digital platform, orchestrator, eliminating redundant tasks.
Absolutely,
all that stuff.
absolutely.
Good. Now, we talked a little bit earlier, we've all been dealing with the pressures of the pandemic. I know, our team went to an agile mindset, a continuous delivery model to try and offset that. We wanted to come out stronger than we went in, and I think we did that. Tell us a little bit about the impact of the pandemic on Ford MeterBox.
Ford MeterBox was in an interesting position. So we had the bad impact of the pandemic like everybody else, part of our workforce working remotely. We had times when we had to have to shut down part of our manufacturing facility because of lack of employees. But there was also an upside. Our business suddenly increased fourfold. With the masses exiting the big cities, housing markets skyrocketed. And if you build a new house, you're going to need water and you're going to need Ford MeterBox. And then the government dumped a lot of money into infrastructure. So overnight, literally, the number of sales orders, the number of work orders we were dumping into JD Edwards increased by a factor of 4.
Wow.
Luckily, we were able to, we weren't designed to do that. We didn't set JD Edwards up for that level of business. And so there was a little struggle for a bit, but we were code current, and we were able to utilize some new tools and turn that around and have a system that could suddenly handle that increase in data.
Yeah, so we could scale right along with you.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So did that change the business's view as far as our long-range view as far as digital is concerned?
It did. We were able to adapt pretty quickly, but we were still kind of behind the curve. We didn't see it coming. We had maybe put ourselves where we were kind of fat and lazy, and we were going to run like we always had. Instead, we have developed a strategic task force for JD Edwards. It encompasses every area of our business, from our foundry to customer service, accounting, and then, of course, IT. And our purpose is to look at where we are for the next 5 years. How can we use Edwards to move our business forward? Where do we want to be instead of kind of resting on our laurels? And so it's not a task force based on solving our problems of today, but really going back to maybe some vanilla JD Edwards, so we can be more agile in our changes, and to make sure that regardless of our business levels, we're ready for that.
Very nice, very nice. Code current it has its advantages.
It does, it does.
Very cool. One more question as far as plans maybe for the cloud. Does cloud factor in?
It does. So we've also adopted, we have a new line of business at Ford Meterbox in the water treatment area. And it's not a line of business we've been in, so as a 130-year-old company, we now find ourselves looking for new business opportunities. And so we're looking for a CRM. We've looked at Oracle, we've looked at Salesforce, but that CRM will be a cloud-based application for us. We have some other ancillary systems that are in the cloud. We're in rural Indiana, and so not a lot of you want to come to rural Indiana with your your great technical abilities and support us. So the cloud enables us to take advantage of some knowledge and some people that aren't necessarily in Indiana. Now, JD Edwards is still on-prem for us for a couple reasons. Along with being in rural Indiana, internet stability is maybe not the best thing in the world. And being mission critical to our business, our executive team's just not ready to kind of take that leap of faith. So we're moving that way slowly.
Fair enough, fair enough. Awesome. Any other words of wisdom for everybody out there?
Yeah, we talk about staying code current, and so we stay on the latest tools release. We update all of our application software with Edwards. We also make sure all of our back-end Oracle and all of those things are up to date, including virus definitions, everything. Ford Meterbox was unfortunately hit by ransomware. Not ourselves, but we had a third party that we used that was a cloud application. Everybody probably heard about it at the end of the year, first of the year. And so we were without one of our applications for 8 weeks. Until those systems could be back up and running. 8 weeks is a long time. This was not a mission-critical application. We went back to manual time cards, but we struggled a lot. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of headache and a lot of money that went into making sure that would work. Nobody ever wants to do that. Trust me, it is painful, it is horrible, it is costly, and it's a lot of long hours. I would say, having lived through that, upgrades, code current, security. Ford Meterbox has a company that we contract with that does pen testing on our entire environment twice a year. Security is not that sexy thing that anybody does, but I would encourage everybody to really make sure you're not only code current, but current on every other security application in your environment.
That's great advice. Great advice, Cheryl. So,
all right.
Thank you for being up here today.
Thank you so much, Paul. I like your shirt.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, take care. For those interested to hear more from Cheryl about Ford Meterbox's story, she does have a session. I believe it's 11:15 on Wednesday. So by all means, swing by and see Cheryl again. All right, we have one more customer story that we wanted to share with you today. This one is coming, it's Certified Origins. They couldn't be with us here today, so I will do my best to summarize their their story. They're based out of the Tuscany region of Italy, and they manufacture and deliver authentic premium olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. And they've got roughly, I'd say, 200 farmers, 250,000 farms, and 450 mills. And their focus has been on maintaining a sustainable and transparent supply chain. And so they saw an opportunity, and what they really wanted to do was provide full transparency from bottling all the way to port, right? There was an opportunity to streamline some processes. The certification process is still very pen and paper, if you will. They wanted to improve the exchange of information between all the different partners that they have along that chain, as well as reduce operational costs. So what did they do? Well, first they're running, Enterprise 1 9.2 on OCI, right? And they decided to leverage the digital platform to actually be one of the first in their sector to implement blockchain technology. Okay, so they're using the Oracle blockchain platform to help monitor and track their Bellucci premium extra virgin olive oil all the way from the bottling facility all the way to the port of arrival, all right? And what that does is, with the REST services that they enabled, they can record everything along that line from purchase orders to the goods received, to the sales orders, to the shipments, all the customer invoicing is all recorded in real time. And so as a result, customers via a mobile application actually have traceability of the products that they purchase, and they can also automate any sort of returns that they need to return or that they need to initiate. It also enables portability of data across the entire supply chain, right? They all have access and visibility to the distributed ledger. So all the stakeholders have access to the same data. It also cuts down on disputes, right? They're able to implement smart contracts, and as a result, everybody has an immutable record of all the agreements, and therefore it cuts down on any disputes that they may have. Finally, you've got the enhanced security aspect of this, where everything is digitally signed. You got it cryptographically linked and visible to all participants, right? So a very powerful solution. And, we really appreciate Certified Origins sharing what we consider to be a prime example of what Gary was talking about earlier. As we ride this digital wave and we provide this digital platform, our goal was to enable you to take advantage of emerging technologies to rethink and transform your business, right? And I think this is a perfect story or an excellent example, if you will, of how you can do that. So thank you, Certified Origins, for sharing your story and being willing to allow us to come up here and summarize it for you. So.
How are we doing?
Welcome Gary back up on stage. No.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you, US Silica, Ford Meter Box, and Certified Origins for sharing those stories. And this is an invitation to everyone out there. Share your stories. It gets people thinking. That gets your imagination going. And that was the whole design. Again, Paul, you summarized that extremely well. So, thank you for that. But as we mentioned early on, these waves of innovation, they keep coming. They can be relentless. They can create competitive advantage for you or disadvantage if you're not keeping your eye on these things. And I'd say blockchain is one that we knew it was an emerging technology. We wanted to be able to support it. We weren't quite ready to build it into our core business processes, and that was really the purpose of the digital platform. Again, I know I'm repeating that, but I think it's just such an important point that by our making it really easier for you with low-code solutions to be able to enable these platforms, these type of solutions. But the next big wave we see, and we alluded to it, with our interview with Ken, is all around intelligence. It's around taking advantage of the data you have in J.D. Edwards and other systems, and acting on that, leveraging it for intelligence, decision making, predictions, scenario modeling, whatever that may be, security, risk, are great examples of that. So, again, to follow that same pattern, the digital platform. We want to make it easy for you to leverage this data, leverage these technologies to help build intelligence into your J.D. Edwards-led business processes. But like digital, which is a collection of technologies, IoT, mobile, integration, et cetera, this intelligence wave is going to comprise a whole number of different technologies as well. And our plan is to build that on top of the digital platform so you can take advantage of it across the full suite of applications. So the first area, there's 3 areas that we see. First is, we talked a bit about cloud, but cloud does deliver that highly scalable platform. Access to huge data storage, compute power, and intelligent services. Like the Oracle data science, Oracle AI, data machine learning type services. There's a whole set of these services that can run in the cloud, ingest data, take advantage of that for the decision making. We also then want to make it easy for you to insert this intelligence into your business processes. So just like form extensions or the logic extensibility can extend your business processes with low and no-code solutions, we want to be able to extend your business processes with this intelligence. So we're not talking about a wholesale change of everything. We're talking about making your processes better, continuous improvement. But we also have our view on cloud applications and some of them that are delivering more out-of-the-box intelligence built in. And there's areas like, it's long been an add-on to J.D. Edwards to do OCR invoice matching, right? To automate that handling of paper to do your reconciliations. In the cloud, there's an AI-powered version of that'll help you intelligent document recognition. From a planning perspective, financial planning, there's intelligence performance management that builds in consumes all this data, historical data, and presents you with feasible scenarios, outcome for your financial plans. So those are just a couple examples of where we see the cloud being able to help you.
So another category, right? So we see intelligence obviously as this larger set wave, if you will. We got to keep that beach theme, that wave thing going on. So it's a larger set wave. Got to get enough surfing terms in. I think there's a minimum of 40. But anyway, so you've got a larger set wave, and we see 3 smaller waves, which is cloud, and the other one is autonomous systems. Okay, and we mentioned it earlier, Cheryl. I think you mentioned it. That you want to eliminate human intervention, right? You want to eliminate human error, right? So we look at it as the less the human has to intervene, the less chance there is for obviously mistakes to be made. And right now, a lot of you probably have IT staffs that are really stuck in maintenance mode, is what I would call it, right? They're endless cycles of install, update, patch, tune, install, update, patch, right? Day after day, right? And what these autonomous systems look to do is, hey, guess what? They're self-monitoring, they're self-repairing, they're self-tuning, self-patching, right? I mean, that's what we're striving for, right? And with those sorts of systems, then that can enable your IT staff to shift from maintenance mode into more of an innovation mode, right? They can go partner with the business, they can go focus on other strategic initiatives and get out of the install, update, patch, tune mode. Right, and that's what we're looking to enable you to do. Now, J.D. Edwards right now supports this in terms of, let's say, our most recent certification of the autonomous database, right? Both dedicated as well as shared, right? And we've worked with the database team on how you can actually leverage your J.D. Edwards licensing for ADB. So if you have questions on that, by all means, go see Jeff Erickson and his team at Meet the Experts and find out more on that. But we're also looking at, as we go down the road in the future, you've got autonomous Linux and you've got autonomous capabilities that are getting built into cloud infrastructure and services that we want to be able to support. And then, we have a roadmap session coming up, and I know Clayton's got some other detailed sessions coming up on the autonomous system administration that that's part of our long-term vision, right? And this is where we're building in what we're calling Sentinel administration as well as predictive patching. So please go see those other sessions as well to find out more details about what that roadmap actually looks like.
Okay. Yeah, and the third area of that we see of intelligence, this intelligence wave, is around, we're calling it enterprise automation. Enterprise automation is taking what you're already doing by automating steps in a business process. Maybe there are things that are obvious. You have a sales order that takes, it gets stuck in a certain step in the process. It may be almost like gut feel, instinctively obvious where that is. But there's a lot of other areas that really do continuous process improvement and innovation. It's finding those things continuously, finding those over time, mining those processes for improvement. And then having an enterprise-wide discipline to then take those findings, be able to recognize where those efficiencies are, be able to have the tools, the capabilities built in that help you efficiently analyze the root cause of that problem, and then implement it, likely using the digital platform or extensions to it. So that's what we're calling enterprise-wide automation. We think that this will fundamentally improve your business outcomes because it'll shorten your cycles, your order-to-cash cycles, your et cetera, all your processes. We think you can compress them, remove friction. If you can just get that visibility into where those bottlenecks are, or what we're calling blind spots in the process. Okay, well, we said a lot today. We talked a little bit about our overall, what we've delivered, what we've done over the last couple of years since we've gotten together. We talked about some customer stories and how the innovation from our customers is driving both what we put in our product as well as these just incredible solutions out there. We spoke about the wave of digital innovation and this upcoming wave that we see, which is the intelligence wave. So when you wrap all this up, what is our strategy for Release 23 and beyond? First of all, continue what we're doing with this cumulative value. Continuing to hear your input. How can we improve the processes? Everything from adding a field or whatever that may be. They may seem small, but once you build them all up, the power is there in the cumulative value. The second thing is expanding the digital platform with intelligence, with enterprise automation and intelligence, so that you can continue to do what you're doing, but expand the effectiveness of this by inserting intelligence into your business process. And then finally, we talked about cloud, and our speakers spoke about cloud as well and how they're using that, whether it's a blockchain service or running on OCI. Cloud is your ally. We really fundamentally believe that it can really help your overall businesses and improve what J.D. Edwards does through what cloud can uniquely provide. So with that,
just a couple of reminders. Yeah, so that to kind of wrap it up, if you will. I wanted to highlight a few sessions that you guys may all be interested in. First of all, we have our data visualization session. Okay, this is where we've been leveraging the JET technology to deliver new application visualizations to you, get off the whole ADF platform and whatnot, make it easier to actually uptake these. We've been delivering several over the last few releases, so I strongly encourage you to go to that, the new ones that are coming, or find out about the ones that we recently delivered if you're not aware of them. Then there's always the roadmap session, right? That's that's a very popular session. Jeff and Keith will be going over in more detail what we're currently planning on delivering. We've got another drop coming here this month. And then also, what we're looking at delivering as we approach that next incremental, car model release towards the end of the year. The most popular session is likely the update from engineering. So back to AJ and Aaron and Hyann, by all means go see their session and find out more about what's going on in Orchestrator around logic extensions as well as updated workflow. There's quite a bit of work going on there, and so if you're working on Orchestrator right now, you're interested in Orchestrator, by all means go get that update from engineering on everything that they're currently looking at. If you still have questions by the end of the week, find Gary. I'm just kidding. But no, we do have the Ask Me Anything session, which I'll be emceeing, I believe, Thursday. There are QR codes in every room that you go to. There's a little plaque with a QR code. You can scan that and submit your question. So as you go to these sessions throughout the week and whatnot, as you get more and more questions build up, by all means scan them, submit them, and we'll answer as many as we can on Thursday. And those we can't, we'll obviously circle back around and contact you, with those details. And finally, I had mentioned Ford Meterbox's story, 11:15 on Wednesday, if you want to hear more. All right. So thank you all for coming. One last pitch for my product team. Right, we've got the Meet the Experts. They're over in the exhibitors hall. By all means, go see them. Right, you may have specific topics that you want to grill them on, and I encourage you to grill them as much as you can while they're here. All right, ask them as many tough questions as you can, which is why I won't be over there, but they will be. If you have specific topics that you're interested in, we've laid out a timing here, a schedule, so that you can note it and swing by. Gary, anything else?
No, just thank you very much for joining us and for being part of this wonderful community that we've built over the years. So we hope you have a great conference.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Good times.